Hi, everybody. So, our midterm project was we were supposed to kind of go back through the chapters that we read in this term and kind of pick something that intrigued us and make a research project on it. So, I was going back through and I got to module 7, chapter 7, 7.3, and it was about forgetting. And one of the subpoints kind of struck my mind, and it was about the controversy of false memories. So I kind of went through and read that little sub point, and I thought it was really interesting, so I decided to do my research project on that. And the question that I formed from reading that chapter was, does therapy have an effect on the accuracy of recovered memory, which was something that was kind of discussed in the chapter. So, a little introduction and background is recovered memories are reports of long lost memories prompted by clinical techniques. There has been lots of controversy on whether these clinical techniques, like therapy, are creating false memories, inaccurate reports that some believe to be a memory. So basically, when people go to therapy, um, the techniques that the therapists are using or the way that they're prompting their sessions with the clients are making them think that something happened in their past, like trauma, or a lot of things, like when it comes to court cases, like things that happened in the past that go against um, the person getting prosecuted, which obviously creates a lot of issues when people are going to jail because of memories. So a question that I formed was, so can clinical techniques recover memories, or do they create false memories instead? And my hypothesis was clinical techniques can create false memories due to therapists planting ideas into clients' heads when recovering memories. A procedure that I found about this for my methods was the 2001 study by Ost, Coastal, and Bull employed a qualitative, questionnaire-based, and analytical procedure focused on retractors, which are people who went to therapy, recovered a memory, and then took the memory back and said it wasn't true, and that the therapy made them think that. The researchers identified 20 individuals who had previously retracted claims of childhood abuse, recruited them through the British False Memory Society and the False Memory Syndrome Foundation, and collected data using a detailed questionnaire covering their memory recovery therapy and retraction experiences. So they basically went through and looked at all of the techniques that the therapists used, the therapy that they went through, and stuff like that, and then what made them take it back. And for my results, for experiment results number one, this is the same experiment. Oz, Coastal, and Bull said in 2001 in the Journal of Forensic Psychiatry, research by the authors indicates that retractors often experience significant pressure while initially constructing or recovering memories, which they later come to disbelieve. So basically, the therapy was causing people to take these things back. And then for another experiment that I looked into, for experiment number two, was Lost in the Mall, a 1995 experiment done by Elizabeth Loftus. Participants were convinced of entirely false childhood events, such as getting sick from vodka or meeting a Disney character which directly affected their later behaviors and preferences. Roughly a participants Roughly most of participants fell for the suggestion that they were lost in a shopping mall as children, with many adding rich false details to the story. So basically, this was done to kind of show how easily it is to manipulate people's memory. Like when your friend says, "Oh my gosh, remember when we did this?" and you don't remember, but you just say yes because it's your friend. Yeah, well, they kind of did this experiment to show how easily therapists can manipulate clients' memories into believing things that never happened just off of the way that they prompt their techniques. And for my graphs, that first graph relates to experiment one, and it kind of shows each little bar shows it's an imagination inflation. So it says like people who found $10. They told people that they found $10, and it says subjects who did not believe that they did that, and then subjects who did. And then they kind of go through for every single one, and you can tell that all of those yellow bars are bigger than the blue ones because every single one that they did, like every single memory or like experiment that they did, more people always believed that they did than that they didn't. And then in that second bar graph, that one relates to the second experiment. And that one, the first little bar graph shows it only happens that there are no memories of traumatic experiments that can be put into words. And then that second one kind of talks about the more traumatic an event was, the less it can be remembered and put into words. And then that bottom one talks about the role of psychiatry is to uncover inaccessible memories of traumatic experiences. And then it kind of like talks about like people who have like gone through those experiences. And then for my applications, in the discussion portion, knowing that false memories can be formed from clinical techniques like therapy can help prevent those methods from being used in the future. This information can introduce therapists to new strategies to get patients to recover memories without implanting false ones. Memory reconsolidation is a method used to recover memories by existing stored memories into a malleable state to be updated with new, safe information. Techniques focus on reprocessing rather than suggesting, using methods like EMDR, eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing, trauma-focused therapy, and grounding techniques to access and recontextualize memories. And then my references are down in that bottom right corner. And that is my presentation.